So other than the obvious differences in our appearances being non-identical twins, so like Anya's probably got a slightly bigger build with a bigger bum, bigger boobs, and I'm just a bit smaller and shorter, unfortunately.
So in terms of our appearance, I'd say that we probably don't really look like twins, maybe not even sisters. Like I have curly hair, the same kind of colour, but she has straight hair. And then we have like totally different facial features. So I can see why a lot of people don't really believe us when we say that we're twins.
There was also some clear differences in like what we chose to do. So like intellectually, for example, I've kind of gone down the science route, whereas she's gone down more of the creative route. When we were in primary school, it wasn't really clear which side we were going to go. Both of us were trying both. Didn't help that in primary school the teachers all thought that I was special. Because I didn't really put much effort into the work, so it was actually hard to tell what exactly it was that we were both good at.
We're kind of similar heights, to be honest. Maybe I'm a bit taller. Jemilla's has more of an athletic build, I'd say. But yeah, moving on from appearance, we are very different. So our parents split us up in primary school because when we were really little, I'd never be the one speaking. It would always be Jemilla saying everything for me. So, I mean, I can't really succeed when I don't speak to anyone.
And as we kind of grew up, we found our own, I guess. It was it was in GCSEs. It was quite hard because on GCSE results day it was a direct comparison for most of the subjects, which is quite difficult to be celebrating but also feel bad. Don't want to rub it in the other person's face. And then in A levels we went completely different ways, with me doing maths, chemistry and physics, and Anya doing art, psychology and English language. But we both did geography AS.
And it actually ended up, when we were separated, I actually started kind of doing better than Jemilla in primary school, but she just put no effort in, and that's probably why. Because in secondary school she hiked up the effort and just beat me at everything, really. So we are very competitive. We do all the sports, and throughout secondary school, when we always wanted to be on the team.
Our teacher couldn't help but compare us, and it ended up causing a bit of drama within the class, and that's partly one of the reasons why we didn't carry it to A2. So it was good to kind of leave and move on completely separate from each other. So this is what as children we always try to have different friends, so that we weren't just always being together and weren't influencing kind of how our personalities grew, I guess.
When it came to our GCSE grades and results days, Jemilla did work probably quite a lot harder than I did, but I found it really difficult because I knew that she was brighter than me and she was going to do better, and she did. And it must have been really hard for everyone because I still did well, but they kind of she deserved really good kind of congratulations because she did outstanding. So it's kind of tricky. They must have found must have found that very tricky to kind of say well done to both of us when someone has done a lot better.
Until eventually merging in about year 11, we both realised that we probably got on with the same people, and so moved into the same group. I guess in actual social situations, Anya's probably a little bit quieter. She's the one giggling quietly at other people's jokes, and as you get to know her, she'll start to come out of her shell and start to tell her own stories and stuff. Probably a bit of an opposite in that. I guess I've always tried to kind of be quite funny attempt to anyway. So yeah, that's probably one of the main things.
And then in terms of A levels, she did like maths, chemistry and physics, and I did art, psychology and English language. So we just couldn't even compare each other anymore. Like, I think we'd found our roots completely separate to each other because we're just so competitive. We can't do anything the same. We did geography AS and we both got A's in it. We actually did quite similar, but in the lessons, like, the teacher was just constantly kind of picking at us and and comparing us.
Like, main differences if you were actually to meet us is you probably wouldn't maybe think that we would get on as well as we do, considering that our personalities are quite different, but our interests are similar. We watch a lot of programmes together, we like similar music, go to a lot of gigs together, we both like sport, and it's now good that we've ended up doing different sports so that we aren't compared.
I mean, with friendships, we started off having different friends, but because we're actually quite similar in what our interests are, we did end up having the same friends at the end of school. But I would say now that we are separate at uni, we do have very different friends, and I'd say we act very differently in friendship situations. I more take a bit of a backseat, kind of more listen to what's going on, whereas Jemilla's like kind of the life of the party, likes to make sure everyone's okay, please everyone, so is a lot more confident. So I think Jemilla probably has a lot more friends, a wider circle, and I probably have like a smaller circle of friends in university.
We aren't compared with that anymore. I guess it's probably quite good that we've defined our differences to influence our lives with the different career choices, etc.
Coming to university though, it has, although I think because we've chosen such different paths, it's allowed us to really be different people. But when you move out of the house and you're no longer living together, it allows you to kind of do whatever you want to do. Because I also find like when we're living together, we kind of wake up at the same time, we watch the same TV programme, we do work at the same time, play the same games, all those kind of things. Whereas we're completely left to our own devices at uni. And so it allows us even more to kind of do what we want to do rather than like moulding to each other.